Good morning, everyone. It is Donald Miguel Thomas, aka Donanonymous, aka Donnie16, aka 1989 was born, aka Stealth Mongoose, and I am here to spend about 12 seconds to 30 seconds making a very long intro, and eventually I will talk to you about the topic of atheism as a religion versus, well, not versus anything really, but atheism as a religion, and religion being a harmful factor within society or culture. Now, I guess I'll start with the easiest one first, atheism as a religion. Now, you've all heard the argument before. Well, atheists, they disbelieve in a God, so that's not any different from a religion because it still involves rejecting a belief, or something to that effect. Typically, the argument made is that since atheism includes the denial or lack of belief within a specific deity or deities, that somehow atheism in and of itself must be classified as a religion. This is, of course, a ridiculous use of words and a blatant disregard for both the etymology of the word and the nature of the stance held within the word. So let's start off with that. Thinking about atheism, what comes to mind? Well, let me point out something that comes to my mind when I think about atheism. When I think about atheism, I think about the term without deities, because atheism is just that, a lack of deistic thinking, or a lack of theism, atheism. Now, if that isn't simple enough for some people to grasp, here's a few examples. I am an a-smoker. I lack smoking. I do not smoke. Does that mean that my not smoking is a habit? Just think about that for a little while, marinate on it. Is non-smoking a habit? Furthermore, if I am an a-channelist when it comes to TV, I don't watch any TV channels, I prefer to leave my TV off. Do I have a channel of preference? Is off a channel suddenly? How about bald? What if I'm bald? What if I am a-hair? What if I am without hair? Do you consider bald a hair color? Now that we've gotten that out of the way, there is this whole argument going on that atheism goes beyond simply lacking a belief in a God in most cases, wherein people observe that atheists, for better or worse, tend to cite arguments, facts, or ideas that contradict notions of certain religions. For example, in the Quran, it is stated that in Surah 43:3, I think it is, don't quote me on that, I might be completely wrong, but in the Quran, it states, verbatim, that semen, that's the stuff that, part of the stuff that babies comes from the penis, by the way, and the genitals, that somehow semen is a product of the spinal cord. The spinal cord. That's what it says in the Quran. That in some magical way, the first human beings on earth were created by Allah, and he had semen coming from his spinal cord. Now, anyone absolutely whatsoever, with a knowledge in basic, really basic, very easy anatomy can tell you that semen doesn't come from the spinal cord. Now, how hard was that? You're already an atheist to Allah, thanks to knowing that fact. Congratulations, pat yourself on the back. You are now an atheist. But, according to some other people, to be an atheist means to ridicule and or become aggressively contradictory to other religions. Well, let's think about that for a second. If you believe in mythical stories involving supernatural beings that mess with everything from the way the sky is formed to the human's basic anatomy, any fact that you are presented with is going to sound like ridicule, isn't it? If you believe that 2 plus 2 equals 3, anytime someone comes up to you and says, nah man, 2 plus 2 equals 4, you're gonna act like you're being fucking ridiculed. Why? Well, it could be because they're ridiculing you. It could be because the people who are touting all those facts and truths are just making fun of you. But wait, let's use that brain up in the skull for just a second and think about this. If someone says something is true and that makes you feel bad and that thing is actually true, then are they making fun of you? Are they making fun of your religion? Are they trying to tell you that you're completely wrong and that that your God is an asshole? No, they're not. They're telling you truths that are contradictory to your beliefs, and you are labeling them as being oppressive, which is wrong. So no, atheists, on the whole, as far as I have observed, do not go out of their way to ridicule and mock religions, at least not so much as they present facts that contradict with religions and make religions look stupid. Now, that's completely different from ridiculing a religion, because ridicule requires causing a religion to look ridiculous through non-factual means. Let's say, for example, I threw down the idea that Jesus is a lame asshole because long hair is stupid, and peace is stupid, and he's stupid. That's ridicule. That's baseless accusations. That's something you can get pissed off about. Because honestly, the day someone comes up to me and tells me that snakes don't talk and I get offended is the day that I convert to Christianity. Now, now that I'm done with that little rant, let's move on to the much more difficult topic. The topic that, well, before I move on to the next topic, I'll just close this up. So, in short, atheism is not a religion, obviously, because lacking a certain belief on a certain stance of a religion does not a religion make. It's bad English, it's horrible communication skills, and overall you're going to look like an idiot if you try to propose that. Now, second of all, what we have is the idea that atheism is somehow assertively harmful or assertively ridiculing of other religions. That's utterly stupid, because even babies are born atheists. Anything is an atheist if it lacks the belief in a deity. So, that out of the way. Now we can move on to the next topic. And the next topic I wanted to talk to you guys about is the topic of religion as a harmful device within our society. Now, this one is a little more interesting and a little more complex, because we're going to be talking not about the definitions of religion per se on the whole, but how religion may affect society. And let me get my personal stance out of the way. I have to say religion is harmful in all instances in the long run, and any benefits you acquire from religion is going to be short-lived and overall won't give you any explanatory power or accuracy in anything you do. That being said, let's take a look at how religion can or cannot be harmful within society. Let's start with, the token religion, Christianity. Let's think about the effects Christianity has had on the universe. Now, a lot of die-hard anti-theists out there will tell you, no, religion, especially Christianity, has been harmful in all instances, all the time, without exception. Now, I have to disagree, but I still maintain my stance, and this is why. Christianity, as a branch off of Judaism, in fact, you could even call it a fan fiction of Judaism, has created for itself a niche empire in which to build up a societal hierarchy. Now, it did this through various means: coercion, starting wars, inciting divides within the community, etc. But one can't say that people didn't benefit from this. There were people in power, obviously, who benefited from this. Popes throughout history have been able to mandate laws against the general populace under the guise of speaking for God. And they've been able to gain large support for their structure and themselves that way. So it's benefited them quite well. Aside from that, you have higher rich nobility within the Renaissance era who while others were attempting to abandon religion, the hierarchies managed to use religions as a deceptive device to influence famous artists and the like. So we got a lot of good art out of religion, even if it's a little inaccurate. Let's say, was it Michelangelo or Da Vinci that painted the Sistine Chapel? That was beautiful work, and obviously religiously inspired. Now, this whole benefit from it, of course, it's good. It seems nice throughout the first few times it's done. But let's look at the long-term effects. You know, you could say that religion gives you short-term benefits. Beautiful artwork, a high rate of productivity if you have a country who's in fear of going to hell. If you have a group of people who want to go to heaven, their chances are they're going to listen to whatever you say if you're a religious leader. But these aren't necessarily long-term good things, are they? Now, if you're a logical, rational human being, you can already turn the gears in your head and figure out why this isn't a good thing. Why it isn't a good thing to give people a certain sense of false hope for the short term. But let me go ahead and expound upon it now that I'm hammering on it. When you use a deception or a lie or a comfortable fiction to try to propose that people behave a certain way, people are going to rely on that fiction. Let's say, for example, that I stated, Superman, although he's invisible, moves at the speed of light, and is an incredibly powerful human being, requires your money to ensure that he continues to do his job. If you're an avid Superman believer, you're going to step forward and fill out that collection plate. It may not necessarily be because you genuinely believe Superman exists, but something about the ability to compellingly give the money to this cause is going to make you do it. And basically, if I have this image of Superman and I propose that he's flying around the world so fast that you can't see him solving problems, then we're going to have a group of people who are going to believe that. And while this is going on, it can provide a lot of short-term benefits. You can have people who are avid believers in Superman donating to the Superman cause. You can have people running around the... You can have people essentially using Superman's name in prayer or in rallies to get other people feeling well about their problems. You can even use Superman as a consolation device. If, for example, a beloved family member dies, and we think about the mythology of Superman, we can easily say, well, that person may have perished, but since Superman can see and speak to souls, true story, he actually can in the comic books, since Superman can see and speak to souls, it won't be very difficult for Superman to communicate with this particular perished human being and let us know that they're okay in the afterlife. So, these are all very comforting thoughts. But then you think about it, in a year or so, that same person who passed away and their family is going to be wondering what else they're saying, what else their souls are saying. And, maybe the people who worship Superman are convinced that they can speak to the dead. And that person whose family member died could in theory feel better simply because someone tells them that their family member is still alive and existing in some way, shape, or form in a soul or whatnot. But does this really help them? When you look in the future and you see all the comfort that they might have, what about their memories of their loved ones? When you have this fictional entity speaking for the dead, trying to tell people what sort of message the dead want to give, it's very dangerous. Penn and Teller did a thing about this, using religion as consolation and the short-term benefits that can come from it. There was this young man who had a cold reading done on him, aka he had a psychic try to tell him where his dead relative was. And while he was talking to her, this psychic basically told him that his mom didn't want him to worry, that his mom was very proud of him, and that his mom was a strong woman who was for the most part satisfied at where her son had landed in life. But hold on just a second. You should think about that. Would your grandmother be happy in the situation that you're in? Would your grandmother be happy that you're going to this organization, this priest, this psychic, this pastor, or whatnot, to tell you how your loved ones are doing in the afterlife? Do you think that that's what your parents would want? Do you think your parents would want you to go to some charlatan and have him tell you what they thought, instead of remembering their memories, their images, and trying to figure out what they would have wanted for you? Why go to a living person to try to find out what the dead want? Why talk through a living person to speak to the dead? Now, I'm getting a little short on time here, but that's essentially my point. Religion brings a lot of short-term comforts. You can feel really good for about a year or so while you think that everything you do is mandated by a deity, that every single action you make is part of some divine plan. But once that plan falls apart, once you realize that the only thing that's planning out your destiny is an organization of human beings who could care less about what happens to you, when you figure out that the reason you can talk to the dead is because some hack wants to line his pockets with money, when you figure out that the only reason that you fight for miracles is because you haven't been shown one yet, then you really need to reanalyze your stance. Because believing in any religion, Buddhism, Hinduism, Islam, the Quran, the Christianity, Judaism, any of those things, just because they are worth believing, doesn't mean that they're good. You're going to have a lot of short-term comforts. You might even think that you've found enlightenment, but at the end of the day, will the people that you've murdered come back to life? Will the people that you've lied to be aware of your deception? Will the people that you've stolen from get their things back? Will the people that you've lost come back to speak to you? You see, religion can provide a lot of very short-term comforts. But there's one thing that it can never provide: real answers. And those of you who are out there going, Jesus is the only answer, all I need is Him, all I need is, my religion, I'm never going to abandon my faith, I'm never going to give up all of this that I believe to be true. All I have to say is, man, I pity you. Not because of the pain you're going, not because of those statements in and of themselves, but because of what those statements reveal. When you're unwilling to abandon a symbol, despite all of the harm it causes, when you're incapable of giving up a creed, even though it's been proven to be false, then there's a lot of trauma behind that. And I honestly pity anyone who has that mindset because of how much they've been hurt. This is Donanonymous, aka 1989 was born. I'm signing out.